Hey guys, this is going to be well, kind of quick, but it's a video on how to use Separation Studio for spot process uh, proof positive films. So I'm taking this design. It's currently three colors: red, black, and white. The test there is in white. So I'm going through and removing that. Whoops, I forgot to go ahead and create the outlines and uh, go through the Pathfinder tool and do all that stuff. So I'm doing that right now. So I'm selecting the color white. I already just did the Pathfinder, and now I'm deleting it. Um, I like to go through and put something behind it just to make sure I can see that it's deleted. So I'm just going to put a little box behind here, add some color to it. Yep, and there it is. You can see the white's gone, so it's transparent. Now, I'm pretty new to Adobe Illustrator. I'm really good with Photoshop, but Illustrator is new to me, so this is something I'm working on. All right, so Separation Studio recommends using EPS format. So I'm saving this as an EPS, then we'll go over to Separation Studio and bring it in from there. Let's see. There we go. I got Separation Studio open, going into the import. There's the EPS that I just saved. Oh, and this is what I kept running into. So they recommend using EPS, which I think that will give it a better quality because I think it keeps it as a vectored file. Um, so I'm trying to figure out a way here to import it as EPS. Um, Encapsulated PostScript, I believe that's what it stands for. So I'm trying a few different ways. I've tried this before, and this is a point of frustration for me. I really think separation. The guys that make this software, um, they could have done a better job here. If it's a situation where Adobe has made some changes, this is a product you charge $800 for. You should be keeping up with the predominant software used. So I don't understand why you can't do it. So I'm trying here. I can't figure out any way for EPS to work. In prior times, I've tried everything. I've tried TIFFs, PNGs, JPEGs. I might even try a PDF. Um, but for lack of a better workaround, I have to use PNG. I feel like it doesn't get the quality. And I've even tried upscaling it and everything, but we're just going to take it in at the level that it's currently set at. So here it's importing into Separation Studio. Oh, gotta go back into it again, sorry. All right, there it is. There's it. And this is really cool how it breaks it down. You can see on the bottom where it's created a proof positive, it's created a white underbase, and a red. I'm going through and deleting all the others that we don't need. Um, what's missing here? Black. I don't understand it, but you have to go in to Separation Studio and import it in. So I went up to generate black and brought it in under detailed. Here I'm going through and I'm adjusting each channel, taking it up to 100% saturation. Again, this is for spot process printing. So I want, when this prints, I want it as dark as possible. So I'm going in there and I'm boosting it up as much as I can. Now, if you notice right there, at 0, it's got a little frame, a little stroke around it on the red. If I boosted it up 100%, it creates this gray shadow that'll come out in the black. So I didn't like that. Um, so, but anyways, so now I'm saving it. It saves as an EPS file, and at this point, you have to bring it. You have to place it into Adobe Illustrator. And when you go to place it, this is something that I picked up at. You have to place it as a linked file. Okay, so I'm going down to place. I already, if you click on options, you can go in and click on linked file. And here we are. I'm gonna go ahead. It's the same format and size that I have set up here. So it brought it in. It's centered. It looks great. I always like to go in and add a few things for when it goes to print. Here I'm just checking to see the settings. One thing I'm doing for this project, normally I would just send it over to AccuRamp, but here I'm doing it as a PostScript file so we can save it as a file, enlarge it, and take a look at it. Okay, I'm going in, I keep in the libraries tab, I have my registration marks there, and so I just drag them over and drop them in. I'll probably make a tutorial down the road on how I do my registration marks because I don't think a lot of people do them the way I do them, and I'm really happy with the way I do them because I don't have to go through and change colors or add it to each layer or anything like that. It works really nice for me. I'll show you guys how I do that at another point. Um, okay, and then the nice thing about using Separation Studio is you don't have to export these out or print these individually as individual files. You go into the print command, and from there it'll print all the colors for you on its own sheet. That is pretty sweet how it does that. I would like to learn if there's a possibility I could do that just in Adobe Illustrator on its own. So this is an area I have something to learn on. What I'm doing right now is I'm going in and I'm putting a title on the top of the film. So when it prints, I know what's printing on each screen. I print out the whole line there, so it might say something like, you know, the design name, the color, the screen and color for each one, and then I go through and highlight it and change it. Well, you need to go out there and create outlines, but then I go through and highlight each color or each word that corresponds, and I change it to the color that it needs to be. So this is really cool when you're doing it with Separation Studio because it's picking it up. And if you look down in your color swatches down there, you'll have the colors that are brought over from Separation Studio will have a little mark in the lower right hand corner, and that helps you to identify them. So that way when it goes to output, it'll pick them up automatically. So this is one thing that's really nice about Separation Studio. When you're doing the output, you do need to make sure you're choosing separations rather than the composite. Otherwise, it won't work at all. And then deselect the color process. Otherwise, they'll print an extra page that you don't need and it'll waste the film. So now I'm going to go ahead and save it as a PostScript file so that we can view what the output is going to look like. Okay, see if we can find it here. There we go. Alright, first thing I noticed, okay, printed good. I have my registration marks, got the title. If you look between the titles, each one of that prints out is going to be a little bit different. So you see it's picking up for the red screen, and picked up for the black screen, and for the white underbase. All the registration marks are there. Great. Okay. Okay, here is the output file that we received from that printed from using Separation Studio. Again, we have to print it from Adobe Illustrator. It would be really nice if we could print it from Separation Studio, you know, as a standalone, trying to create a standalone product. You know, I don't like that you have to go back to Illustrator to print it, but nonetheless, it's what we have. So it printed 3 pages. So we have the white underbase, whoops, excuse me, and then we have a black screen, and then a red screen. Now we had the black and the white and the black and the red on there, and then it gave us the underbase also. So I like how it does it all really quick. It brought in the registration marks, it brought in the description, and the labels that I put on each one. And remember, I went in and colored the black screen. I made that black. The white underbase, I highlighted that and clicked on the white underbase color. And I did the same thing for the red color, for the red screen. And then what I did for this, so that it would come over in all of them, I just gave it the registration color. So it saved me a lot of time. So now looking at this, so this is the white underbase. So we want that to print really well, right? I don't feel like this is a very dark black. It doesn't feel like a really pure black. It feels like a really dark gray to me. So I don't know how well that's going to print. Is it going to create halftones or whatnot? On the black screen, it created this stroke around the red box. I don't understand why I did that either. What was the need for that? Um, Additionally, one thing you might notice here is it did not create a underbase for the black. So this is the black screen, right? So here's that circular or des design element with the text in it. Um, it didn't create that. So this actually got me thinking. So now when I'm creating my screens, I haven't been creating a white underbase for blacks. Maybe that's just the industry standard. I didn't know that. I'm relatively new to screen printing, so I was like, oh, that's cool. And it saves me some effort on printing the whites. So I learned something from Separation Studio, and I thank you for that. Okay, so let's go back to this black screen. So it created the stroke, and obviously this is the black ink or the black design that we created, and then here is the red. Now notice the red on here is a lot darker, or the black on here is darker than it was the other, and that's because I boosted up the channel, um, and I think that helped with it. I couldn't boost up the channel much for the black because if I did, it would have started filling this in with halftones. I didn't like that. So I don't like the stroke. I didn't like that I couldn't boost it much, but it was black, so it looks pretty good there. But here's the biggest thing that concerns me out of everything with this output. Look, it's pixelating. This is from a vector file. It originated with a vector file. There is no reason whatsoever these should be vector or these should be pixelating. This is a huge fail in my book. I don't, and for this reason alone, I cannot use this product to create the screens. It is going to make the print quality look horrible. And I don't know how they do it. The other concern I have is, okay, we got this stroke here. I don't want that on there. I have to take extra time to go in and delete all that out before I print it. By the way, you can do that in Separation Studio. You can go in and brush that out. But why is it doing it anyways? There was no black in the red for it to pick up, so I don't understand why it was there. Um, and then the other thing here, it's kind of, it's more of a gray. It's not that solid black, so when it prints through accurate, I don't know if it's going to turn into halftones. Um, so there's some definitely concerns. And here's another area too I have some definite concerns for. And I searched and searched and searched, and I tried to contact the producers of the software, um, and I cannot find anything where you can define a mask or um, to be able to make that white underbase just a little bit smaller than the color prints. Now, when I printed these on films, I put them up there and compared them. It looks like there is a slight offset amount, but there's no way in there where I can go in and define a specific amount. So if I want more or less, that should be something that's in there as well. And I feel that's something that's lacking. So I think there's some definite areas for opportunities for the software. There's some things it does really well, and it can be really quick. That video would have been a lot faster if it would have brought in the EPS file. And also, I think the quality. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. I love your bargains. Also, I think the quality would have been better too if it would have brought in the EPS file. I don't know why it's not allowing it. I tried everything, and I contacted them, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and have got no reply back. So I'm not happy with the customer service with it either. For a product you pay nearly $800 for, I expect a lot more performance out of that. Well, I hope this is helpful. I hope you learned anything. I mean, I'm new to making these videos, so if you have any input for me, please put comments below. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I've been called a lot of names. Doesn't bother me at all. So, yeah, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll be talking to you soon.